Tuesday night, is that one of those things that you've just got to take on the chin and learn from? I know you were pretty frustrated at full time, understandably. Is it something that you look at in the cold light of day and think we can take something from this and maybe it'll make us better in the future?
Take it on the chin, you mean?
Talking to the microphone.
Take it on the chin, you mean?
Talking to the microphone.
Take it on the chins, yeah. And I'm struggling to remember the last time I felt so down after a game. It was gut-wrenching, to be honest. I felt like being punched in the face. But at the cold light today, Tranmere had more shots on target than us. Tranmere had 3, we had 2. And I know we had a big share of the play and we had chances galore, but you know, they've stuck at the task and they deserve to go through because of that, and they took some really good penalties and the keeper's made a really good save off Sean Worley. So from that perspective they totally deserve to go through, and we've just got to rue a very big missed opportunity. And you know, when we look back at it, there's elements that we could have easily stopped their 2 goals. Now, on the flip side of that, they'll look at our 2 goals and think, well, what are they doing for the first goal? You know, so they've gifted us the first goal. So it's all swings and roundabouts. You just got to take the opportunities when they're presented to you. They did, and that's why they're in the next round. And good luck to them. And we've got to lick our wounds and let the pain drive you on to the next game. I'm still blazing over it, to be honest. I barely had an hour's sleep on Tuesday night. But you've got to get over it. You know, there's no point wallowing in self-pity. We've only got ourselves to blame. And there's no excuses. Can't blame the referee, can't blame the linesman. You know, you can't blame anyone but ourselves. And we were the masters of our own downfall, and we've got to be stronger, and we've got to learn from that. And the quicker you learn, hopefully the better you become.
Does it have to hurt losing? Do you have to hate it?
Yeah, and I hope the players hurt as much as me. And you just get feelings like that, and we've been around long enough to have felt that emotion and dealt with that emotion, and hopefully we'll bounce back on Saturday.
As far as the league games are concerned, has there been plenty to be encouraged by?
Still room for massive improvement. We're just getting a little bit disjointed with injuries at the moment, and that's taking its toll on us, to be honest. But I've got to say, Ryan Ashley's done really well when he's come in. Harvey's probably been our best player this season so far. So that's 2 big positives. And then, you know, you're sprinkling it around. Dan Martin had a, you know, accomplished debut, so that's pleasing. Cody's looking like he's going to be a handful, and when you see his new haircut, it's unbelievable. So he's going to be a shining light if his hair's got anything to go by.
I look forward to that. On the defensive side of things, would it be fair to say that you wouldn't necessarily have expected this to be your centre-half partnership before a ball was kicked with Ashley and Rodgers?
No, that sounds like a solicitor, pop group. What else could it be? Ashley and Rodgers. Yeah, could be a haberdashery.
Good word.
No, I think they're 2 good players in their own right, and whoever has to play has to step up to the plate. And players have played out of position and done well. You know, Ross has done well at left back. Mo's done well enough at left back. And we keep batting away trying to get the right players in the right holes. And you know, we've got good attacking options now. You know, a bit of a blow that Big Toure signs and then suffers a calf injury, so we don't really see him being involved. Hopefully, you know, Baba will get used to the way we're playing, so he could be an addition, and then possibly bring 1 or 2 more in before the window shuts.
Just on Harvey Rodgers specifically, we've seen him play all over the place for you over a long time. For Stanley, he's played wing back, played full back, played centre half, and he's now in there at centre half. How valuable is a player like that, who's dependable but patient. I
He's a
imagine
great
he's not the kind of guy that's knocking on your door saying, why am I not playing?
Yeah, he's a great lad, Harvey. Very laid back. Possibly he's too laid back sometimes, but I think he thinks his best position is centre half, and that's when we signed him. We signed him on loan initially from Hull as a centre half, and then we converted him to a right back, and he was amazing first season. And then he chose to go to Fleetwood, and his career seemed to stall. And we brought him back, and we had this long-standing joke that he was Henry the Hoover when he come back. He just couldn't get it right, and then he's battled through that, and now he's a valuable member of our squad. So that's fair play to him, because you've seen players not so much throw the towel in, but just disappear and go off the radar, and he hasn't. He's kept battling away, and he deserves all the plaudits he's got this season.
How good an example is that? Because there will be players who aren't in the squad, let alone in your team, that perhaps have to have a bit of that.
Well, he is a shining light to anyone. There was times when he wasn't even in the squad last year. So to battle back and be a valuable member of our team at the moment is good for him. And good luck to him. Just
on the recruitment side of things, there'll be plates spinning and pots on the boil, but is there anything that's likely to be happening in the build-up to this game?
Something happens this week. Possibly maybe a bit too soon for Saturday, but hopefully for the Forest Green game.
Would it be fair to suggest you're looking at defenders?
I think you would be quite accurate in your assumption there, Dan.
Very occasionally I am.
Yeah.
As far as the league picture is concerned, 4 points from 6. The performance, as you said, has plenty of room for improvement. Is that a good sign, though, that you can be unbeaten, you can have taken 4 points from 6, and you can still think there's loads more to come?
Well, it's a very, very, very early days. And you're always looking to amass, well, you're always looking to amass points. But if you look on the 10-game mark, you want to be having a healthy balance. And every point's valuable. We feel as though we're capable of winning every game, but we also know that we're capable of losing every game, as that showed the other night. And so we've got to get ourselves right for every single game we play. We've got to stick to the game plan that we play, which we've done quite well actually. I think our organisation has been very good this season so far, and hopefully we can carry that on.
When you look at the season as a whole, is it quite difficult to set yourself targets or milestones, because you could win any game but you could lose any game? Is it still 50 points and get them as soon as possible?
Yeah, without a doubt. But I think there's lots of other teams who are looking at that as well. If you go in saying you just want to stay up, I wouldn't want to be involved in footy if that was the case. Sometimes you have to be realistic with your targets. But we've shown that we play anybody here, we can match anyone. I still won't class it as a loss because we drew the game on Tuesday. We only lost one game in 2022, and that was to Gillingham when we got the most blatant penalty of all time, turned down in the last minute. So, but for that we could be unbeaten, and that's a long time to go unbeaten, 8 months. So, we've just got to keep believing that we can beat anyone here, and then try and pick up points on the road.
Do you think that belief, obviously it's there in the players that have been here for that period of time and before, do you think that belief transmits to the new players? Do you think already they feel very comfortable and very solid when they come out here?
I think so, and the fans help as well. The one thing about our fans is that they, particularly the Clayton end, they very rarely get on the players' backs. So all they do is encourage, and that's so advantageous to a footballer. When you've got crowds, and sometimes that's the downside of having big crowds. So you get like your Portsmouth, your Sheffield Wednesdays, and it's great when things are going well, but when things are going bad, the expectation is too high, and you can feel the groans every time, and you can hear the groans, and you can feel the fans' anxiety, which transmits to the players. And we don't have that here. I think we have a lot of positivity with our fans, and I think it certainly shows in our performances.
You talk about being very early days. Of course it is. if you'd had a start like Burton have had with 3 defeats and no goals yet, it's not the time to panic, is it? Is it too early to draw any conclusions onto a team and how they're doing from 3 results, 2 league games and a cup tie?
100% it is. You know, you can have freak results, you can have things where things don't go for you. Possibly dangerous opponents, teams who are like that because they're desperate to get the season back on track, as we saw with Tranmere, but they'd lost the first 2 games. So we've got to be on our mettle, and we've got to ignore what's gone on in the previous 2 games, because they'll have no bearing on this game on Saturday. What we've got to do is get our heads down and work as hard as we can and keep our organisation and play to our strengths. And if we do that, we've got a chance of winning.
Anything likely injury-wise in terms of good news?
No, we only seem to be getting bad news from the injury front, so I'm sometimes scared to pick the phone up when the physios ring me.
And we touched on Jay the other night and the sort of long road that he faces to get back. How important is it to have somebody who's out for the season like that still involved and still feel part of it?
Well, he's a very positive person, Jay, and you know, he's already set his sights on when he comes back being fitter and stronger, so you know, that's good, and that's good that he's looking towards when he's going to play. It's going to be a hard road back, but he's definitely got the strength of character to overcome that and come back, you know, even stronger.